lighting up for that, right?
Yeah, it looks good actually.
So let me get sorted for the battle. All right, so um, welcome everyone to another conversation with the Lees. All right, so thanks to everyone for coming on, for joining us. We again look forward to share with you whether via live or during our vlogs that we will post. We look forward to sharing with you. We look forward to coming here on a Sunday evening. We look forward to um, making content that helps, content that um, you are willing to share and that you get help from. Yes, and so we want to again just say welcome to everyone.
Welcome, welcome.
Welcome to our 228 subscribers to date.
And
We
remember
are
to like up the live as you come.
we are so happy, and of course, as you come on, you register for class by liking the
Liking.
live. All right. So as you see, um, Michelle is here tonight. Last week I went solo, and you'd have seen the thumbnail or the topic for the night. The lady of the house is here. Last week, I am sure anybody who listened for at least the first 3 to 4 minutes, or maybe five, you'd have heard somebody in the background.
But people, I can explain for
Well,
myself.
before she explain, let me first tell you what really go on. Yes, I right. This is the ultimate truth. So she and I had a small disagreement. You understand? So I thought it in my own wisdom to say, okay, you know what? Let me carry this a bit closer. Right. So I thought it in my wisdom. All right, let me. You want to turn off?
All right.
You want to turn it off? All right. She went to have too much extra light. So I thought it in my little wisdom to have a live without her because honestly, the disagreement we had, you know, we were giving some each other a little space. But I thought to myself, you know what, let me have a live. She'll see the link. She may, even chime in and comment and say, wow, go on, yes, or whatever. But it never happened that way. So she come and she see the live, I go and she say, oh. And when you saw me get up and say, Asu come, actually went into the room and explained to her that I did this with a motive. But anyway, the topic still remains what it is. She's here tonight and she wants to explain herself.
Well, I mean, I don't have anything to explain. One, I'm here tonight to, first, what I get to understand is that, women are confusing and women don't know what they want. And I'm totally not in agreement with
And
that.
I'm just hoping that the fellas hurry up and come.
No, I'm hoping that the other
Oh,
ladies can speak up for
I
themselves.
hope the fellas hurry up and come. And just before you continue, man, happy Father's Day to
Yes, happy Father's
all the
Day to all the
fathers
fathers over the world,
um,
all over the world.
all over the world and all who are our subscribers and all who are soon to become
Right,
subscribers.
right.
We celebrate you. We celebrate us.
Good
Um,
evening, Nadine. Yes.
Hi Nadine.
Good
Good
evening.
evening. Um, yes. So I had a wonderful day, and we have a vlog that is going to come up. So look out for that. You'll see it. How my day went. But that's not what the topic is about. That's interjected to say hi. And happy Father's Day to all the
Yes.
fathers.
Well, the topic is the same as what I saw for last week, addressing the mood to put out there, or your point or opinion that women don't know what they want and women are confusing to men. I strongly disagree with that. Yes, strongly disagree. And starting on that point is that, first of all, I cannot, I am not here to say I represent all women and all that I do is the same like all women would do. I don't agree with that
Oh, we
either.
never pray. We normally pray before we
I
start.
mean, we could if you want to interject, but I believe
No,
we're
we
still
can, man.
covered.
We can, man. Go ahead.
Right? So basically, I believe that all women, we are similar in ways, but we have our difference in a lot of ways according to our values. Right? And that is what makes us different. You can have seven sisters, same mom, same dad, and I guarantee you that all those women will be different.
7 different minds.
Seven different minds and will deal with issues in different ways, but however, there are similarities. Now, first of all, this thing we're saying that women don't know what they want, it's a strong myth. It's a strong myth because I believe that if there's anybody out of the two sex, I would want to say that women know most of all what they want. The men may not agree with what the woman wants, but there's no mixed feeling about what the woman wants. Because most of the time, you'll find that disagreement even comes because of what the woman wants. But somewhere along the line, it get misconstrued as to what she wants and how she wants it. Now, I believe that if the males pay enough attention,
Hold on.
you understand, pay enough attention as to what the woman said she's wanting, there will be no confusion. You understand? But most of the time, the men hear what the woman is complaining about or what they want, and they may be in disagreement to it. They may feel that, okay, that is not necessarily important, right now, or I'm not able to do that right now, so let me give her what I can and see if she will accept it because I feel that is what is best for her.
No, but no,
No,
no sense.
no rebuttal, sir. No one mess with you, lads.
Okay, man. I'm just
Understand?
here for the.
So at the end of the day, don't get it all mixed up as if the lady don't know what she wants because she have been saying what she wants. And what that lady wants may just be, something very simple versus what the man wants to give sometimes is the world. You understand? Because there's a strong misunderstanding, not because the woman didn't say what she wants or what she needs. You understand? So I think that it takes attention. It takes attention. For instance, you may say to a man, all right, is it possible when you're coming home to stop by Mr. John's shop to get me a box of milk? No, Mr. John Shop may be just out of the road. But the man may say, all right, all the man here is the woman need a box of milk. Now, sometime maybe along the line, it was said that Mr. John produced the freshest milk or the best type of milk. Bear in mind, you did say, please, is it possible for you to stop at Mr. John and get a box of milk? Where? At Mr. John. But the man hear milk. All he hears in the sentence was milk. And along the line, it have been said before in his hearing that Mr. John produces the best milk, and that's the milk that I like. However, that particular day may very well be convenient for him to stop, closer from where he's coming from at Miss Mary's shop to get a box of milk.
Just say
Okay?
like, register by like in the line.
To get the box of milk. However, that man said, not a problem, honey. I'm coming. When the man reached home, of course, him come with a box of milk. From you see the milk, first of all, it look wrinkled, the box look wrinkled up. The date on it may still have shelf life, but it have expired. But you know that Mr. John, every morning him getting fresh set of milk. And for you see, he said, babe, I don't understand. Where did you get this box of milk? What does it matter where I get the box of milk? Don't you say you want a box of milk and I bought the milk? But I said, babe, I need the milk at Mr. John, right? Box of milk. So the man may just say to you, but Arthur, you never tell me that you didn't say. And then you say, babe, even if it's a voice note, you could very well say, please listen to the voice note. Then you hear exactly what you said. Then the man will say, oh, you're so confusing. You tell me you want a box of milk. Now the focus is on Mr. John. When it was a simple little thing you asked to be carried out, you want the fresh milk from the place where you say you want the milk, and all of a sudden there may be a big disagreement over something that is so simple and inconvenient, and then by talking about Mr. John's milk, there and then, no, you remember, say, oh, I remember the time when I needed the bread, or I needed a national bread. You understand? But for some reason, it may just be that they didn't have any national bread, but he bought another bread because he wanted to buy a bread. You understand? But that was kind of, you may say, but the same thing is about the bread. And then you're not supposed to be talking about the bread now, however, you should be talking about Mr. John, the milk, when forget the place to buy. But because it feels like the same instances wherein you're what? You're not being heard, or not being, he's not paying attention closely. So of course you're going to you may not feel offended at the same time, but as liquor things may be piled up, you may feel offended as a woman about it. And you're saying, look, you're not paying attention. You should be paying attention. This is more than what, and every time you do the same thing. No, the man may just feel offended that why you keep saying every time. It's every time this happens, it's not every time. Till you find out that you have now become miserable. You have now become confusing, when it's really nothing like that. All you need to do is listen keenly. And it's not that the women don't know what they want. You know exactly what they want. So all you have to do is really pay attention. And I think the other thing again, wherein that all women are alike.
Yeah, one
When
more before you continue. If you're here, just say hi on the chat and like the live, and you're registering for class. Miss Lee has the Mrs. Lee has the floor.
and all women, we are similar in certain things, but instead of trying to analyze us in a way, maybe we do not even see it as negative way, but it is negative. Instead of analyzing us and say, so woman stay man, you can't please them, you give them the house and want the sugar, and at the same time, all you needed maybe from that horse was just the bit in their mouth. You understand? So at the end of the day, listen more. Listen more, pay keen attention. And don't try to put all women in the same bracket. Because while we may be similar, we're all spicy and different in all different ways. So over time, you should really know the woman that you have and deal with her accordingly. Now, as it relates to, woman piling up, putting a lot of things into things, you will say to a man, honey, you know that, this fan is falling down. Can you fix it? Not a problem, honey, man. I'll fix it for you. I'll make sure I fix it this evening. All right, this evening come, and you don't want to say anything because you don't want to seem too rushy, and say, all right, the fan is still falling over. Let me catch it in the corner there, in the side there where he can see it so he can rectify it. All right. This evening pass, you don't say anything. You see it tomorrow evening. You say, okay, he's exhausted maybe, and you see it to the next evening. Some of the time, you as a woman will even take that very fan and start to try and fix it how you can now. And you're gonna hear that you say you're impatient. You're so impatient.
Well, man.
No, I'm pausing. You're so impatient. You can't tell us I'm gonna fix it, but you said you would have fixed it from the very first instant. Sorry, in the evening, excuse me, and it's still not dealt with. So while the lady may pass that, so now the fan is out of the way because the lady may fix it. But then you may find out maybe a month later something else happened. And you say, honey, I don't know to put in, you can nail up this for me. And say, babe, me coming, mommy, I'm gonna nail it up for you. And you distracted yourself and say, leave it. And you did that to you finally need it now. It's about wait. You know, this time I want to love this for me. So by then you come and you say, baby, no understand, every time you say I go start out the thing, start out the thing. You understand? But then there you go again by saying every time. And I said then so me say you cannot say it's not every time. It happen with the fan. All right, or it may happen with the door, it may happen with the this. You understand? But the man don't want to talk about the fan because even though it's a similar situation, he may not want to talk about the door. But that particular day, you may do, he wanted to talk about nailing up the tea. Well, a woman mind doesn't work like that. We are multi-talented at things, and we deal with it. We deal with it in different ways. Well, I truly, honestly believe that men deal with things different from women. But I don't think women should be where you're calling a black ball by it. You understand? Or be talk about negatively for it. It's just that we're able to multitask, and that's why I agree when they said women maybe see things in colored, and men see it in black and white. However, I don't think that we should be analyzed through it. I think that we should be appreciated through it, and also patience should be exercised because right off the bat we're two different beings. But another thing that I've come to observe is that men and women are not necessarily asking for different things. We're not necessarily asking for different things because all of us want to be loved. We want to be appreciated. And we want to know that we are important enough for the significant other to invest the time to listen, to learn, and know how to apply themselves. Now I come to realize that in a disagreement, men, when a woman is upset, most of the time the men cannot deal with it. Because when the woman do get upset, they don't get upset because of one particular thing. One particular thing just
I need to get
triggered
that pen and
off.
paper and take some
One
notes.
particular thing may just trigger off a lot of other previous things that have lead up to that particular disagreement. So basically I don't agree that women don't know what they want, and I don't agree that women are confusing. Now for those who are there and like, if you want to share, you can share your opinion on these things. Because at the end of the day, how about the times? Because everybody have their faults. How about the times when, because everybody do have their fault. How about the time when the men miss the mark too, because they have their own faults. You understand? First of all, men, they love to give their ladies things, but they love to give their lady most of the time what they think too that this is gonna blow her mind. This is gonna, you understand? And nothing is wrong with that. But most of the time, if you really want to blow that woman line, what did the lady said she needed a particular time ago? You understand? You understand? Some of the time, the men may get it right, and another time, why? Me no know she want that because the other day, me said, honey, want. How about a bottle, a box of ice cream, and she love Roman reason. But today, out of the blue, the lady may feel like, should I eat some chocolate chip cookie because she have always have Roman raisin? Does that mean that the woman don't love Roman raisin? So of course, we may carry that to her, and she said, um, "Oh, yes, I know love Roman raisin, but for some reason, I was really feeling for chocolate chip or cookie and cream." So how about if you feel that in your gut that is a possibility that she don't want it, call her up and say, "Hon, how you feel? What you eat some ice cream today?" She may just very well tell you, yes, I was just thinking about it. Is a possibility I can buy some cookie and cream? But you may just want to surprise her. But you surprise her, which is well and good. But that particular day, she just didn't want the Roman raisin. It doesn't mean that she's confusing and she don't know what she wants. It means that what? She's maybe willing to try new things, or she's versatile, or another thing, a more significant thing. What is it if, for instance, you and your wife would normally, it's a
I probably think I
ritual.
need to go to the bathroom and just take a rest, don't I?
Not
See if
necessarily. Not necessarily. But no, you
you want
can't
me to stay and
joke.
give it to me. All
No,
right.
me not give it to you, but
All right. I'm
honestly,
listening.
I have listened.
No.
So
Yes, I'm
I,
gonna give you a
I,
time.
I'm just clearing up some things.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
know, so basically now, say for instance you have to make maybe a little bigger decision. Okay, today is the day that you will maybe normally go out, on a date. Maybe you would normally want to go to Wendy's. You have been doing it for years. you know. But a particular day, the lady may say, honey, I don't feel like going Wendy's today, you know. How about we try some seafood or what have you. I mean, don't come down too hard that you only have the Wendy's money. You understand? It can be compromised. If you only have the Wendy's money, it don't have to be a big disagreement room. But oh, you just change out of the blue. It's just like how you grow in life. You grow in life, and as you mature, your tastes change. You understand? It's the same way other things will change. For instance, though, what if you're a person in your relationship then? Right? You get upset, and when you get upset, this is coming to personal. When you get upset now, you just really want to be by yourself. Say, for instance, you're spouse, you're having a disagreement, and you just know the talking. Because you have persons who want to talk it out, persons who not necessarily want to talk about it then. And person say, you know what? I just want to be by myself and sort out certain things, which is rightfully so, and that is how it have always gone. But what if this particular day, right? You're feeling emotional about something and by yourself, but you didn't say it to your spouse of 20 years, but you want him to pick up, say, okay, this, you don't necessarily want to be left alone this time around. You want the compassion to be shown, and the little love of tentativeness to be shown in a particular way. But it may just very well be that, okay, the man said, all right, she just want to be alone. But there come a time when within, you're going to talk to each other and say, what is wrong? At a particular time, and you say, I expect you to come and find out what was really wrong with me. You understand? And the man may say to you that, yeah, but you would like to be alone, so I'll give you space. But then you may be upset about it. I know that I can understand both part that, okay, yes, it might go the normal route. But you can change it up, man. Change it up. And it don't necessarily mean that the woman confusing at all. It don't necessarily. It really don't. No, it don't necessarily.
No, I'm
It's
just
not
here to.
necessarily that the person is confusing. If it's a regular thing, that's the way it happened. You can say, boy, the woman are confusing, I don't even know them one. But I've come to realize that men cannot handle their significant other being upset with them. They cannot handle it. They can deal with it maybe for maybe an hour or two, and after
No,
they,
that is not a fair statement.
it's not.
No.
All right, since that's your view,
I mean, I don't want to steal your time because I took all of the time last week.
well, the lady them not defend
So,
themselves, so you can bite as
so,
well.
so I'm saying I don't think it's a fair statement because every and I speak this.
Go ahead.
You have relationships that are not monogamous, are committed, and so we're in those situations. A man we hear him wife start and him woman start. Let's use it
Yeah,
that way. And just took up himself and gone because in an argument with she and she just
and that is true.
miserable
You
and
have,
she take her
and
ass
that's
and
not
him
right.
and him take
Yeah,
for himself. Now for committed relationships, you will be in a city you will be in you'll been in the relationship for maybe a year or two or three or four or five, whatever the length of time is. But you have a committed relationship. I don't think we just up and go. We can't up and go. And although sometimes it's good to take yourself out of the situation and just give each other
give
space
each
because
other space.
sometimes in the heat of the moment, stuff is said that only irritates one or the other.
That's true.
You understand me? But to say that, what you say again?
To say that men cannot handle
Right. To
being
say that
upset
to say
for a
that we
long
can
period, and
to say
women
we
being upset
can't
with them.
to say we can't handle. Here's my bit, and you hear she consciously say that no, she's put it into context, and I know that she said it. It gets a little personal, but I know that this may happen to other persons.
Yeah.
So she's put it into context now. That listen, it's not that we cannot handle our spouse or our significant other being upset. We can handle it for a long period
Period of
of
time. That's
time.
my point.
Watch this now. Why would you then know that, listener, your husband, which is the same way that we are asked to understand, to study your husband or to study your wife rather, right? Why is it that the study not going on both sides to say, I hear or no? If the argument go prolong away, say to your husband, I hear or no? Let's pause, let's stop, let's just talk about this another time.
Of course, that many times. All right, I'm unhappy.
Because the truth of the matter, and I'm gonna make you finish. The
Don't
truth,
take too long.
I
My
won't because it's
forum.
your forum. The truth is, um, women tend to not speak on the issue alone. The issue at hand, they don't tend to speak on the issue at hand alone. They speak about the issue and then add other things to it. Now, if if you're a man like me, I spend time to listen. Tell me, say I may tell.
Speak so.
I spend time to listen.
Then 2 minutes.
And because I spend time to listen, I hear too much. I may hear everything. I may tend for you to bring back what I hear. And what I realize that when I bring back what I hear, it prolongs the argument. So it's like a rock and a hard place.
All right, it's not a rock and a hard place. How I see it, and you did said women don't stick to the issue. It's not that women don't stick to the issue, but this is where I believe that with men tend to put women in a box, while women don't necessarily do that. Men,
No, but explain that.
what in the sense that a woman will love a man through his faults. Okay, it's so annoying to keep walking up behind of a big man and picking up yourself. It's so annoying that a big man do this, do that, but you don't build it and have it, right? You what you do it, and you may say, "Oh boy, give me strength," and you do it, and you accept certain things and go through. However, I come to realize that with a man, men love things to be wrapped up, women behaviors to be wrapped up nicely and dealt with. Like, oh, you're able, okay, I'm watching a game. The series is going to take maybe 3 weeks to be over with, or to be over with, and I'm willing to say, okay, my team's supposed to drop a 2-0 there, so, and my tolerance for them get a 1 love there, so, and whatnot. No, a woman, you know how to expect certain outcome of certain things that you deem important in your life, and you can deal with the little itches and glitches that comes with it. But I find out that with a woman now, what most men will do is try to put them in a box, like, okay, she like this, she like that, so okay, maybe for birthday, for anniversary, I can do that, and that will send her through the roof, and that is all good and so. But you need to understand that, as it is rightfully said, that women see things in color, and we have many layers, and we may very much more emotional than some men. So what does that mean? If the Lord said to deal with them with patience, right?
Knowledge.
With knowledge, according to knowledge, it simply means that the patience should be applied to whichever layer you do not understand. And watch, in doing that with patience and what have you, there should be certain growth, and the growth will happen. Now, what I come to realize, some men, the growth must happen, okay, in 10 years, 15 years, or 6 months. She's supposed to have that on the wraps, man. And hey, me I go mole her home, me want her. What? I go mole her, man. She good,
Which sensible man goes like that?
Oh God, some men do it, baby. But me I go mole her, they may see something, and that's what we talk about the other day. Everything may not apply to us, but you understand? I'm gonna mole her, I go wear them, I go groom her. It don't necessarily mean that the person is a bad person, or the person don't have good qualities or whatever, but it simply means that with most men, you have to fit within the box or the category within their life that they expect it to be neat and tidy, so they don't have to deal with certain things. But the reality of life is that when you have two different persons coming together, there are going to be trials within the marriage between each other, wherein this one will have to learn to understand how to deal with that one. That one have to learn to accept and understand and deal with that. So it's rightly shared across the board. But I find out that most of the time, right across the board, I hear men say, No man, woman confusing man. Yeah. Why I love her, you know, but at the same time you can't. You
No,
love
no,
her, but you
but
can't live with her.
if I may ask, but if you can find majority of men saying it, come on,
Majority
it
of men,
must be there must be some truth to it.
because of their incapability of dealing with women as a whole. But
No,
remember,
but then it's so
it don't know.
it's so
It's
there's no problem with the woman. There's problem with the
no,
man.
obviously there are some issues with women because the men are always finding it. But in other words, they don't like to build and grow because it's like a friction. You understand? There are certain things that okay, since as the woman is already on her own, according to the men,
Mm.
emotional,
Mm.
sees in color, and men see in black and white.
Mm.
Why couldn't it be looked at okay? Men sees it in black and white. Why does the woman always have to shape and fit and rub and scrub to fit into that scope of the man being black and white? Is it possible? So that's where the patient come in, because if the men do look in black and white and they can't see nothing more than the black and white, it doesn't mean that the color doesn't exist. But the color exists. You understand? So there have to be a level of, we call it a level of compromising. You understand?
Mhm.
So it's shape around. None of us should be able to live and stay within our state because it's the two coming to be one. That's
Mhm.
what the Bible said. It must have been possible why God said it that way.
Mhm.
But my point is that why does the woman have to do all of the work to
No, that's
shape?
not true.
Wait, no, that's how it sound though. When last week,
No.
from that point of perspective, it sound like okay, all right. So men see things very simple,
Yeah,
but
we do.
women see it in all color, and so
Right.
because we see it in colored, like it rightfully is in colored,
Mm-hmm.
right? It simple mean that okay, boy, them have to shape up, them have to fit up, line up, to meet up to the men. You understand? And the truth is that is how the world have always been. The existence of humanity was that okay, you can even go further if I should speak like the way you speak last week, to say that men is always put up on a pedestal and the woman always have to be trying to climb up to fit and to, you understand, from that perspective. And while you may not genuinely look from it, you understand, in
Mm-hmm.
all ways from that perspective, this thing wherein it is statistically proven that okay, men always as a woman cannot be understand. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
It is put out there because of this issue, but the unfair underlying issue of that why it's so widely accepted and people don't try to work out things. I'm not saying this too.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, this will
Mm-hmm.
not be relating to you, but it does happen. Men don't like to work out things to maybe meet the ladies, even halfway understand that, this individual or women just need to be respected, appreciated, and understood, which is the same thing that men want. But the truth is, I don't think that society on a whole give woman that free platform and freedom to do it, because we are labeled okay, boy, them confusing, or they just can't understand it. But I waste of time and try to figure them out. So them stay. You have to just patronize them and move through if we have
Nobody
peace.
said
That
patronizing.
no, actually, that's what it boils down to. That's what it
No,
sounds.
it's not patronizing. It
That's
is
what it comes
it
down
is it is it
to.
is it is it is adjusting when it's called adjusting.
It is called adjusting.
Meaning if instead of you know a particular if you know your spouse and she do things a particular way, even if it rubs you, the compromise comes in and you adjust yourself.
But it should be right across the board with both party.
Right?
With both party. But that's come back to
So
my
it's not
point. But because of the
because
unfairness,
patronizing is like you're saying to the person,
you just have pat them and back and say,
yeah,
all right,
no.
one. But it does happen. The truth is, whether we see, you may not be like that, you
Mm.
understand, in
Mm.
all cases, but you joined their argument, though.
Yeah,
That was your
because
strong point. Hold
all
on,
right,
you joined their argument.
all right.
But that point of argument is coming from society where they look on the fact that, oh, men, they're the ultimate being. No, I truly understand where the Bible comes from, where the Bible says the man is a household. The
It,
man is the
it,
head of the household.
mm.
And in return, the man should love his woman
Like
as
how Christ
God
loved the
loved the
church.
church.
Uh-huh.
No, that's my point. If that man loved that woman like how God loved the church, there is no black and white, there is no colored. Because before time, with you loving the woman the way God says you should love the church, and with the capacity then that the God put inside of you, because you see it in black and white, you should have the withstand and wear it all to really know how to deal with that with women, so they should grow in the right particular way to even match back and in sync with being a man. You
In
understand?
sync
Within her,
with her man.
beautiful, with her man.
Mm.
You understand? So what I'm saying now, let us move away from how society has it that okay, men is the supreme breed, because we
I,
see.
I'm not even going there, so
I'm not expecting you to go
because the
there,
scripture
but
teaches
you
us
did
differently. The
exactly.
scripture
But
teaches
you
us,
did some because maybe of the mental state at the time
said what?
said, okay, woman is confusing her man. It
Yeah,
I've heard it along the line that don't try
yeah.
understand. No, no. Stop looking at it the way society look at it. Cause how
So you're saying then you're giving me giving us rather the way in which things can be dealt with instead of having a broad brush and say women are confusing.
um
You're saying
no,
no, that's not the approach.
I am saying if it is consciously looked at to
Mm.
see that women and men are asking and needing the three basic components that any relationship needs to keep everybody in understanding and working in unison and
Mhm.
riding over the hurdles that will come with, regardless if you see in black and white or colored, because
Saved or not.
saved or not,
Mhm.
these things will come once these three basic needs are not being met at all times the way it should be.
Mhm.
You understand, issues are going to come, and it don't necessarily mean that okay because you see in black and white or you see in colored, because the main component is as I said, is appreciation, love,
Uh,
patience,
No, you said
respect,
respect,
right,
appreciation, and
appreciation and
understanding.
understanding.
Mhm.
Because once you do have that three components, you understand you can work through your issues, you understand, and meet each other halfway and learn how to really deal.
I,
So it does, I'm not finished. So
no man,
it
go ahead.
doesn't, whether it
Is
is
your platform
20
today?
years, whether it is 20 years, whether it is 1 year, whether it is 5 years, or whether it is 6 months, the reality of the situation, a man plus a woman coming together, it's going to take understanding. It's going to take willingness. It's going to take that key thing, which is respect, patience, and love and appreciation. That's what it's gonna take. It don't matter if oh Lord you're confused. Stop seeing the time. You see, if I start to think that okay, my man is so confusing, and over time I believe it, there will never genuine when there's an issue, there will never genuinely be
I can
peace.
understand that. I can understand that if you're saying don't have the mindset, because if you have the mindset, you're going to lock your
You're
mind
gonna
to
lock your mind to
solutions.
it, like society does, and they
Mm.
hold it as gospel. You
I
understand?
but
And some men, it may not be you, but some men hold it as gospel not to put in the effort within their relationship.
true.
And in doing so, they
That
find
is true.
themselves with 3, 4, 5, 6
Still a
female
search for the
and a
one.
bungle of children that is released in society that cause other issues and other problems.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So, a
All
man
right.
is a man and a woman is a
So now
woman.
that you're here, let me ask you this simple question.
Yeah.
Why women use the words always and every time?
All right. Women use the word always. That's the first thing I tried to explain in the beginning of the video when I was talking about the milk. Because one of the things we come to realize with most men, they mean well. They do try to listen, but they do not listen well. Sometimes it could be because, as I said, some men really patronize. They do as if they listen, and the first thing they hear, they run with it, and then they don't have time to hear
You
anything
feel like
else.
you're beat on the bush. Why women use always
I'm
and every
telling you,
time?
because certain things reoccur too frequently.
Mm.
That woman may not get upset about it all the time, but it doesn't mean that it's not being registered. And it's not like you get up every morning and hold it inside of you. But the truth is, over time, when certain things happen, it becomes familiar.
So
And
how?
it's like a chain.
Mhm.
It's like a chain or a link. It
Mhm.
takes one of that link to be loosed, and then
Everything
everything comes
comes up.
back. It
Lord have
really comes
mercy.
up. And the truth is, I've come to realize that some men don't see, or maybe all men don't have the capacity to deal with
But in all
listen,
reality,
let's deal with it, but there's a way to deal with it.
all right.
Instead of being defensive of something that is true, but nevertheless, that's not what you can deal with. You understand? It's not what you can deal with. Don't when that woman say every time this happened, you may not remember the four time instances because it was insignificant to you, nevertheless, but that meant something to her. You
Mhm.
understand? But she did not get upset about it the same time. But because it's like a chain, for some reason, when it happened maybe a three, four times and it happened again, that's what she recall. Okay, last month, June, January, December, before this what like I said, why John can't just do it, Mr. Man? Why it in a hard? Look how easy the thing is for him. You understand? And she's over it like that. But there comes now today when that particular thing may be a different thing, same instances. It may be that the chair wasn't fixed last month. It may be that the milk wasn't bought at the right place to make that perfect meal. It may be that, okay, so he forgets, you understand, to put away, he forget to put back the ice tray in the freezer. Some simple depends on the woman. But at the end of the day, today now, you use, for instance, the person use all of the ice in the ice trays, right? But today is such a hot day. You mix the drink. The drink could not be mixed to cool, but you had to mix it there. And you say, okay, I have three tray ice in the freezer. Now, when you're going to that freezer, ready to share the dinner and the juice to make everybody eat and feel cool and comfortable, you saw one tray, one dega ice in one tray, two in another one, and the other one is empty.
And all
Wait,
right, I'm
no.
listening.
But however, in that woman mind, oh my God, everybody is going to have hot juice today because babes can't remember if it's set by the ice tray or take them out or leave them on the counter so it's visible to be seen so somebody can sit and fully remember. It maybe happen two times, not right behind each other, but that day now was a significant day that it needed. And
So,
she
but you
may
can't
just
use the
come,
word
you may,
always then.
but because it's a principle for that man to forget things are not doing things the way they are. So the woman may just say, why do you always do it? But now you feel bombarded.
Yeah,
You feel
everybody.
bombarded
I'm
that
sure if we use the word always to, we're not gonna feel like we're not gonna say no, that is not
no,
fair.
we're gonna say, but babe, but all the other times it was different case. All right, me sorry, boo. All right, boo. And we love it out. But the men don't do that. You understand? We love it out. But the men don't say, every time you say always, me always, me this. So yeah, that's how it is. And then you say, boy, women confuse them. It's not really. It's just that we give more latitude to simple little things. But those simple little
In
things
all,
do add up, becomes annoying. And then when our cup overflow, then we take it from an emotional level. But it doesn't mean that, okay, it doesn't mean, and in those situations, that's why I look at it this way. In those situations, it's not even that you can say she is wrong and he is wrong, or she is right and he is. You understand? It's a situation where
mm,
um more attention need to be paid to what simple things that need to be done, and more understanding when those simple things are not done, more understanding need to take place
mm,
from each party. So one person need to understand, say, all right, this is where she come from, it's kind of annoying. It may not happen yesterday and today, but it happened last week and it happened that time. So, you know what, babe, sorry, man. And it happens
But
sometimes.
all right, let's take a case in point. You do not like that is called patronizing. You don't like when that is done to you.
If it's genuine, it's genuine. But if it's
No
being,
man, you don't
if
want
it's a
you don't
thing,
want
no.
no you don't
I
want
mean,
no
but I'm not
no
all
come
woman.
make up. Okay.
I'm not all
Point
woman.
taken.
You know, I'm not all woman. But at the end of the day, if you're gonna do it right. Don't be hugging and then behind them you're the pan. Like, oh, she's so
And for
pretty.
those who do that.
For those who, yeah, for those who do that. You understand? So in those little things, that's
But
where the woman come from. And there's some women who, I mean, rightfully so, you understand? Rightfully so, they may know the spouse that they do have. Also, I know
the
that
spouse.
the spouse,
Sorry.
I know that the person doesn't really have tolerance for certain things and they give mixed feelings. So I cannot talk for all persons. But wherein it is said that boy, women confusing and women don't know what they want, it's not really true. If there's anything, the woman is always giving hint as to what they want. But most of the time, the men are busy. If sometimes them a watch football and them not really here and say, yeah, babes, yeah, man.
But would
Let
you
me get
would
that.
you, but would you be saying something to a you know you're supposed to love football, I love sports. And he's in tune to you. Would you want to give instruction there? That
It's
don't make no
about, it's not
sense.
a practice. I think it's not a practice. I think over time, different spouses and females develop different habits.
Mm.
Some may just cross off their woman to the point that she miserably see, and they have a mechanism of tuning out. Not saying because
No man,
definitely
reason.
this not relate to, because you like to talk
Reason.
about it. You like to reason. You understand and tune out the woman, and because there is this world thing wherein woman is confusing and you can't understand them. So no try my youth. You find out that there are simple instances where those advice must not be taken.
All right.
Must not be
So
taken.
because in all of the conversation, there's also a solution.
Right.
So let me ask you from your point of view, how do you, almost a man, deal with a situation where a lady uses those words always, every time, even though you, as you just said, it may not happen regular, it will happen
It
once or
happened
twice
regular but
before.
not close behind each other.
You say once
I
or
cannot
twice.
speak for all women, but I can
No,
answer
you
that
say
for,
once or twice
yeah,
before.
but it may be all right. It's true, you know how things, how things work sometimes in sequence. All the other time, maybe those are time that the woman maybe can shrug and find another solution that fits
Mhm.
and correct whatever it is. So, oh babe, and say that's out of way. It happen again. It may not be something that
Hold on.
have to be. Wait, no, babe. You asked me
Solution.
a question to
All right.
escalate, but this particular time, it's a big issue. It is a big issue because now not only that man will be inconvenient, but it will create a bigger inconvenience maybe in a family or a group of persons. You understand?
Mhm.
So with that being said, that patient that the woman may have to deal with it the other times have now left the building. And notice I said patients
Mhm.
have now left the building.
Mhm.
So you may find out that she is not so understanding now. So she may lose her
So
cool.
what is the best solution there, sir?
The
The
best
man just
solution,
stop talking and just walk out
the best
because she has
solution,
now piled everything
no,
into one.
beautiful. The best solution is that, they try and deal with it. Don't let it pile up.
Ooh, you mean the
The
lady?
lady, yeah,
Okay,
instead of
right.
making, you understand, make a note of it.
Mm-hmm.
Make a note of, that's the best solution.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Because what reason is it for me in and she spoke about growing. In growing, you don't you don't do the same thing the same and expect a different result. In growing, both for the man and for the
And for the
woman,
woman.
right? In growing, the woman may use the word always and every time, and it offends your spouse. Right? It is something of you just take stock and say, all right, all right. In all fairness, it may happen once or twice, even three times,
But the
right?
men should, sorry, babe,
But
go ahead.
I'm going to go back to the men too, right? It may happen once or twice or three times. It is not fair to say all the time, but rather it is to say, babes, you remember that this happened and that happened, right? So we take. But the point where we talk about black and white, is that whereas more, well, I probably can't say most men, I maybe 50% or 60%. Whereas we are saying if we're going, if a disagreement, say for example, a disagreement develops, simple. Whatever the topic or the subject or the thing is, deal with that at hand. Because if you pile on anything else, it can only make the thing blow out
That is true.
where it don't need to blow.
All right, that is true. However, that's why I said the door swing both ways with the male and the female issue. Because how about that man? You said you're gonna fix a particular thing around the home. Do it. Do it. If you miss a day, do it. Don't let it be that the lady have to come back. When the lady come back and say, babe, you said you were gonna fix the thing and you still don't fix it. You're still here, say the woman they miserably. It's not and because some ladies really don't want to be called miserable.
It triggers
off another thing. And then they may choose.
If you're on a live, you cannot like the live and say, you're registered. I mean, say who you are so we can, greet you well.
Yeah. Right? So at the end of the day, the same leverage should be given, because here it is. All right. He said you have some ladies that may not be my case. But you do have some ladies, them cannot count on one hand how much things need to be fixed around the home. Even here in coronavirus, first the man did say, some tired man, I'm have to go work and we don't have time for that. Now the man they're home, the men go home at home, they're not going out so frequently. But now that they're home, they find another reason not to get the things fixed and sorted out. Mm-hmm. You understand? And then the lady may say, see, that till you find out, say, the woman must just stop talk about it. Them stop talk about it. But when they stop talk about it, what is happening underneath all of that? Mm-hmm. There's opinions being formed. There's hurt being taking place. And when an issue or something come to the forefront, there's a big argument. Mm-hmm. And the man may just not see it, because as far as I'm concerned, fixing the door is inconvenient. It is not important. Tightening a fan and doing the little plumbing or what else men fix. Mm-hmm. I don't know some of them, but it do happen. Because I remember hearing this lady when I on the road, and lady, I was in Papin, and she said, see, a coronavirus now, and my husband in their home, no work, can get laid off, and everything we're in the house to fix. It just stand up and look for me. Now him run out of excuse that him have to go work and him tired and him, you understand, and him can't understand. There's no more excuse. Corona corner him, and yet nothing is being done. So their ladies may be similar in a lot of ways, but when it comes down to experience, they deal with things differently. When it comes down to core value, they deal with things differently. Mm-hmm. And I'm not gonna sit here and act as if it may, when everything piles up for a man, it will seem confusing because nothing have been dealt with. Mm. But if they should deal with it in the stage in which it comes, it don't have to become confusing, in most circumstances, depending on what.
Well, the confusion, is for example, when, again, let's take our thing in as a case in point, where I would say to yourself, boy, you do something, I say, but you're behaving like women behave. Yes. And you will say, no. But and another time you tell me, say, boy, all women are the same with certain things. So I say, but how come you tell him? How come you can't say to you? How come when me say to you, it is offensive, but you say it not offensive?
For example, and this is it again. It comes back with I don't know if it's the capability of the men to narrow it, in the sense that it's what is being said. Not because, all right, it may be that, all right, I may be arguing about something, and you may say, oh, you sound so miserable, whatever. I saw one woman miserable. I may say to you, don't put me in that category with all women or what have you.
Right.
But at the next point, something may happen, and
you say all women are right.
It's your time to talk. No, case in point, your time. Like for instance, you're explaining something, and you have given my length of explaining. That is true. You're giving my length of explaining whatever it is. right? And most of the time, butt in. You're able, you have that personality to conquer and to deal with that. Now, this is something you have always said. Give me my time to explain what I'm saying, but then I will be butt in and say, no, babe, that is not so, that's so. And then you will say, are you going to allow me to talk? And then I will turn to you and I will say, it's just a woman thing. It's just a woman thing. Men,
nail on the
it's
head.
okay, let me say,
I'm
because
happy that you
I'm
brought,
willing to
because that was
take
a
what,
perfect example.
when I hear you talking and I hear you going on, I say, really? But however, that's a case in point, which is true. You will say, give me the level of respect that I should talk and explain. And I said, but I don't see it as disrespect. It's just that sometimes you'll be saying things, explaining for a good length of time, because you have given me my length of time. But I don't necessarily exercise that patience. It's like I don't have the capability, which I have to, as you know, as you say, have
Something to work
yeah,
on. Like
something.
everybody has something to work on.
Right. You understand? I would say, no, but that's not true, babe. And then you would say, will you allow me to talk? Will you allow me to talk? You understand? I would say it's a woman thing. It's hard for women not to say the case when you point it out, or we may forget. And then you will say, I thought you said you're not like every woman, which is true. Not because I say that, which is true. No, you may see, and that's again, you have to allow yourself to see what the thing really is. Even though women have things in common, it doesn't mean that all women are the same. Another time now, I assume you can find another example where you say, but isn't it a woman thing? And I will say to you, really? Don't put me in that category, because it's in a negative point. It's a really strong negative point. And even though there may be a similar to that, it's a wider range, a full with different negative things that I do not want to associate with, because those things may not apply to me. But that one thing that I've triggered off that is similar, you understand? When you say I saw woman say, it's as if you're saying to me all those other things that do not apply. You understand?
So
it's like when I say to you every time.
Of the perception.
It's a matter of the perception. But
Well,
all women are not the same. We do have certain things in common. You understand? But
well, the truth is, I took the time last week just to spark this conversation.
controversy.
If you want to call it that.
Oh Lord.
But one other thing that I know undoubtedly, in if you're with somebody and you love that person, the only way you can live together, and listen to me, whether you're filled with the Holy Ghost or not, whether you have Jesus and the angels that walk with you or not, you're gonna go through these things.
Yeah.
Why? Because when the scripture says you become one flesh, it's a commitment you're making and it's a step you're taking. And once you agree to that, you both have to go give each other patience.
And you have to know when to stand down.
I have to listen well.
Yeah.
I have to learn well, and of course, know when to stand down.
Yeah.
Because you're coming together to understand each other to make something beautiful. And if you don't give yourself that time and opportunity to do that, then you'd have wasted years. It brings me to the point where, and I'm going to ask her, or maybe anybody can chime in, because we're not going to be here very long tonight.
Yeah.
But
it's about that time.
You have persons who will be there. You have persons who will be married for 20 years, and after the 20 years, they get divorced the 21st years. Why do you think that happened?
All right. Why I think that happened? I think that someone is being neglected, or someone was hurting and wasn't saying it. I believe that nothing just happened. Just like how things take gradually, time to invest in time in whatever, and it builds, is the same way. Lack of interest in a particular thing kills it. Or someone being hurt and not talking about it. Because I believe that there's two personalities. One person who will talk about things, and person that will shut down about things. And I think the danger is in the persons who shut down about the thing, because if they're not speaking and they have now shut down. You don't know what to fix. You don't know what the issues are, what to fix. And during that shutdown period, most persons are hurt and they're healing their wounds. And when that healing is being healed silently, negatively silently, it whatsoever that thing is become dormant. That thing that caused the hurt it becomes dormant. So they have already hurt and deal and gone through the process. So by the time the other person should find out, or if they're not thoughtful and paying attention, they're not paying attention to see that something is happening, it needs to be dealt with right away, and find a means in which to reach the individual who have now shut down. It's a serious place to be, because it means that things are happening and they're dealing with it silently and cutting off and being numb and callous.
And so, and the question I ask
And
is,
that's a dead relationship.
yeah, and the reason I ask that is because among the differences that we will have in our relationships, among the challenges we will have, the main source of growth and going forward is listening. First talking, one has to listen, and then the patience to work it out together. If that don't happen, I mean, and it brings me to my last point. It is important to listen to somebody and allow them, give them the time of day to talk. Because when you don't do that, Mark, I may say, boy, she miserable, she miserable, she miserable. But the truth is, she probably miserable for a reason.
For good
So if
reason.
I keep, and she made mention of it, if I block my mind, she said, boy, woman miserable, I will miss an opportunity to make something great. Wherein, instead of me blocking my mind, I ask, what is the issue? And what I love to do, and what I encourage anybody to do, once you give the person the time to vent, just be all ears. And if you will take notes, take notes. Why? Because what you're getting is information how to fix the situation. And once you get that information, then it only helps you to be a better person and to have a
Yeah.
better relationship.
And don't feel doom if you're having disagreement. Yes, you're working through it, but there another disagreement come. It you should pay attention to it, learn from it, so you move to the next level.
Yeah.
Because some of the best relationship and best thing in life, it goes through trials, and it do goes through difficultness. But when you have
Difficulty.
difficulty, when you have overcome those hurdles, that's what makes it special. That's what makes it worth talking about. That's what makes it worth celebrating. That's what makes it that Dick, Tom, and Harry cannot
Can look
push.
back, right?
Yeah, and they cannot push the board to come through or
Right.
to destroy or to mash up, because you now have the strength and the energy, because
And a sound bond.
and a sound band, because you have gone through so much together already.
Yeah.
So not because you've been together for 20 years, 30 years or more and up, it don't mean that you will not go to things. It don't mean that you will not go to trials, but don't miss the opportunity when it comes to the healing, because the healing is the bond. When the healing takes place, it cements the relationship, it cements the friendship. You understand, and you move to another level within your relationships.
Yes.
So be encouraged. I mean, if they're first timers, you're newlyweds, or you have not had your first disagreement yet, or if you find yourself having it now, don't feel like it's the end of the world. It's just an opportunity now to cement, you understand, that healing, and let it becomes like a bond between the two of you, because you're getting to know each other, you're not pretending, you're not playing,
Yeah.
you're
So
getting to see each other. And if you can love each other through this
it
agreement
only
and
get
move on,
better.
it only get better.
All right. So we're gonna end the live now. We're gonna do our vlog, our midweek vlog, and we're
Yeah.
gonna share some other things as it relates to dealing with disagreements.
Disagreement.
I don't think it can be exhausted because everybody have different ways of doing
And
things,
it's happening, it's life.
right? And so we want to help the process and help you to overcome and to do certain things. And at the end of the day, build a beautiful thing. We are still building. We're still attaining it, but we are,
Exactly.
20 years is a lot to chew over.
And the
So
race is not for the swift,
yeah,
but those who
yeah.
can endure to the end.
So endurance is key. But until our
Thank
next
you.
live, Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. Those who were here on the live, we thank you. Um, of course, like, share, subscribe.
Subscribe.
We're on our way to 1,000 subscribers. We're at quarter way.
Yeah.
Yes, that's not bad at all for a couple of months started. So help us get there. Share, like, subscribe, and we'll see you again on the other side. God bless. God bless. All right, Jay, your time.